Welcome to What It Knows, the show that explores the art of sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. All right, guys. First and foremost, spring is here. Thank you all for checking out last week's show, providing feedback on the summer sneaks. Those are some of the hype ones, if you want to call those hype. Again, we're going to have another countdown. I'm going to go ahead and just do it next week. This will be the essential summer sneakers coming next week. Okay, the essential summer sneakers that everyone should cop. It's like an annual thing. I did it last year. Essential summer sneakers that every dude and every lady, I think, should have in their arsenal. All right, that's coming next week. Again, big shout outs to everybody that tuned in last week. Okay, before I show you all a very special pickup that I have in my possession. Okay, I want to tell you guys that you should follow me, MSR_Adam. You should go ahead to that link tree and you should subscribe to the Butler Did It podcast. The Butler Did It podcast on all podcasting platforms, or you subscribe on YouTube at the Butler Did It podcast hub. Okay, you can watch the show, you can check it out, man. Big shout out to everybody that supports the show. The Butler Did It is right behind me. You know what it is, man. It's just a different show from this. You know what I'm saying? We talk about all sorts of things, man. This is my show where I get to come on here and talk about sneaker culture and all sorts of cool stuff. That's a show where I just talk about life, mental health, all sorts of things, man. So thank you for supporting that. And then one more thing I want to add before that, before we get to this pickup, is guys, ladies and gents, remember to follow the Up On Game Network. We have programming every single day of the week. We have dope content creators on the platform. We're on all podcasting platforms, Up On Game Network. And of course, we're on YouTube, Up On Game Network. And you can actually watch, if you're listening to the podcast of this, you can watch the show. If you want to listen to the show in the car or something like that, go to the podcasting platforms on Up On Game Network and listen to the show, man. The team is growing and we're doing big things. All right, let's get to this pickup. Okay, remember last week I told you all that I've been doing good on the sneakers app. I got a really, really cool pickup, but it just wasn't going to be here on time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's here, and it's a big one for me. And I like, when I look at this shoe in person, I really, really like it. Okay, so I'm not gonna keep teasing, man. We got the Into the Spider-Verse Jordan 1. This is a crazy sneaker. This sneaker actually glows in the dark. I'm not gonna be able to show you all. But I might do an on feed of these one day and show you all how they glow in the dark. But they glow in the dark. They got the weird multiverse. Let me show you. Let me see if I can get right up in the camera. They got the weird multiverse, decal coloring, whatever you want to call it. The details is crazy, man. You got a little bit of patent leather. You got a little bit of suede. It's a little bit of everything on the sneaker because it's supposed to represent the multiverse. Okay, and me as a Marvel fan, me as a comic book geek growing up, man, me as a Spider-Man guy. I know my man Gage is loving these, by the way. This is a beautiful sneaker. I know a lot of people dislike this sneaker, and that's cool. I really, really enjoy it. And again, it's another one of those variations of the Chicago colorway that's pretty, pretty cool, man. Listen, is it as good as the Spider-Verse, the first Spider-Verse, right? The original Spider-Verse Jordan was? No, it's not. That is a pretty special sneaker, but this one, it's not far off, man. And like most second versions of a hype sneaker, the resale on this is not crazy. I got this on a shock drop. I talked about it on the show. Didn't think I'd be able to cop this one, man, but I was able to. And I think the real release is coming this weekend, I think on the 20th. So go ahead and go for these if you can. But if not, man, honestly, the resale on these is not nuts at all, man. I will say that someone told me to put blue laces in this one, and it does have hints of blue up here on the upper. I think I'm going to do that, and I think that it will look much better. In fact, the pictures that I saw with the blue laces actually look much better than the black laces. The black laces are cool. But I like the blue better, which brings me to some of the disappointments with this one. Okay, so I'll sit this here. Some of the disappointments that comes with this release is, it came in a regular Jordan 1 Nike box. Now, I bought my wife the Skyline 1s. That shoe came in a specialty box. This is a Sony Marvel Spider-Man collab for a movie. Why don't we get special packaging? I understand you gave us all the details. And at the end of the day, the box is the box, whatever. But, you would have thought you got some special packaging. But what's more disappointing to me, for what I can see now, let me make sure. Let me double, triple check my box. Yeah. It only came with the black laces. Now, I would have thought for like a multiverse sneaker, it would have had like different crazy laces or whatever. I'm just saying, sometimes you might want to put a little care into these releases, man. I mean, listen, it's a dope one. I like it as far as what you're supposed to do with a sneaker, putting it on feet. I think it's really cool. It's cool to have like a Chicago-ish colorway in the collection. I think you can really size it if you can get some blue laces, put them in there, because I think they're going to look good with the blue laces. But I just feel like, I don't know, man. I think this would be better if you just had the complete experience. This is an experiential shoe. This is an art piece. And just, don't slight us. But you know what, man? These joints glow in the dark. So, and you know what? Oh, I can kind of see it a little bit in the light. I can kind of see it. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I don't know if you all can see that, but you can kind of see it in the light, how it kind of glows up a little bit. Maybe you can't see that. I can. That's really cool. Not only is this sneaker, I'm going to try to get this one for my son, too, because I think that, young people will really enjoy this sneaker, man. Glow in the dark soles and stuff like that. Some people may not be cool with that. I think they're extra. I think they're kind of different, so I like them. But I think this is a hit, man. I know when the early pictures came out, folks weren't fooling with this joint, man. They weren't fooling with this one at all. But I like it. So I approve of these. I'm glad to have them. I'm keeping these. I will be wearing these soon, man. The Spider-Verse Jordan 1s, super cool. Super dope pickup. All right. So listen, man, I'm whatever I pick up, I'm going to be showing you guys, man. And I've been blessed to be able to pick up some pretty cool stuff. And again, the cool thing about current sneaker culture is that stuff is sitting. You get an opportunity. Now, mind you, the craziest hype. Yeah, that's still difficult to get your hands on, man. But you can get your hands on real cool stuff. I say it every week, man. Now, this was a somewhat hyped up sneaker. I was able to get my hands on it. But whatever I pick up, I'm going to show you guys, man, because that's what the point of this show is to show off the wearable art that we call sneakers. Okay? All right. Now, we move on. We move on to a more somber story, a more disappointing story. And that's Mr. Ja Morant. We're going to talk about Ja Morant, and we're going to talk about what it means for his sneaker collection. Okay, let's get to it right now. So if you follow this show, I'm sure you know who Ja Morant is. He is a superstar basketball player for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's a phenom, man. He's got everything you can ask for in terms of talent in a young athlete. He's exciting. He's got like a unique look with the locks, with the green in them. You know what I mean? He's a dunk machine. He's not afraid to jump over a grown man. He tried to jump over LeBron James and dunk on him. He has heart. He's a great basketball player, a great young basketball player, and had the potential, and I said had, and had the potential to be a face of the league. But the problem with Ja Morant is that the street life is too appealing to this man. It's too appealing to this man. Now, I'm going to break that down a bit more on my other show. Okay, so I'll get into the psyche and what I think is going on with Ja Morant and all that on my other show. On this particular show, what I want to discuss is, will this impact him in the world of sneakers? Now, Nike basketball has been banking on young stars like Giannis, Ja Morant, and others to sort of spearhead their basketball division. Basketball sneakers, pure basketball sneakers, have not been moving in terms of streetwear, street culture, popularity, sneaker culture. They don't really hit like they did in the 2010s. We've talked about this with the, with the Durants and the Bron line, even with the Durant and the Bron line still being around and Nike signing the Durant pretty much to a lifetime contract, those are older players. They need players like Ja Morant and Giannis and others, Jason Tatum or Jordan Brand. You need these players to really catapult Nike basketball. I get the feeling, especially with Kyrie Irving now gone, which may have been their more popular sneaker, especially with kids, I get the feeling that Nike was really banking on Ja Morant. For all of those reasons I just listed, Ja Morant is exciting. Ja Morant is a superstar. Ja Morant dunks on people. He does all the things that kids like, and let's just face it, he appeals to the kids. Even some of his antics, throwing up gang signs, quoting popular trap, songs. I sound old right now, but quoting popular rappers at the end, doing interviews or whatever, really representing hip hop culture, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I think appeals to a younger audience. But Ja Morant got a bad habit of waving guns in the camera. Let's just keep it a buck. Ja Morant got a real bad habit of waving guns into a camera. So what does Nike do with that? Now, I'm not suggesting that this is a Kanye situation or even what the Kyrie situation turned into. But Michael Wilbon, who is an older gentleman, who has some conservative thoughts. Okay, Michael Wilbon, who I love, wrote for the local paper here, Washington Post, for years. Is a Chicago guy, but, DC embraced him. But Michael Wilbon has had some comments about certain social issues, about certain athletes and such that have been questionable. But he's still a popular voice, an important voice. Michael Wilbon recently said that he will not allow his son to wear Ja Morant sneakers. Now, we could easily shrug this off. We can, Michael Wilbon, whatever, who cares? But how many parents are thinking like this right now? Nike basketball is for the youth. Nike basketball sneakers are for young people. There aren't many grown men and grown women that are like, yo, I'm about to go get the new Ja Morants. Or even the LeBrons like that. They're not lifestyle sneakers. They're trying to attract to younger audiences so they can grow up with them, like we grew up with Jordans, like we grew up with certain silhouettes and brands, dunks, things like that, so that when they're adults, they'll still wear Ja Morants. They'll still wear Giannis sneakers. They'll still wear Jason Tatum sneakers. They'll still wear even LeBron sneakers and KD sneakers, right? People that wear LeBrons that are buying like South Beaches and stuff like that, you're trying to go back to a certain era. Even if it wasn't as old as the Jordan era, this is still 10 years ago. This is what people want for Ja Morant. And this is why I say he was going to be the face of Nike basketball. And if you're having parents out there that are saying, yo, I'm not buying this sneaker, I'm not doing it, where does that leave Nike? What decision does Nike need to make? Again, I'm not advocating for them throwing Ja Morant off their line, but Ja Morant is probably about to face a hefty suspension from the NBA. So now you have two problems. You have parents that are saying they're not buying that sneaker for their children because it represents something super negative, right? And we just saw this with Kyrie, where he mistakenly represented something negative, and it caused Nike to have to make a drastic decision. The same thing with Adidas and Kanye. We've been through this. Well, now you have a guy who likes to wave pistols around. And mind you, just for context, for people that don't know, he waved the pistol around in the video before, got suspended for it, went to rehab for it, claimed that he understood and learned from it. And then season ends, and he's waving a gun on a Instagram Live again. And his man tried to help him. His man tried to put the camera down. So this isn't good decision making. And I can definitely understand where a parent may say, you know what? I don't want my child representing that. So Nike may have a decision to make. He's not going to play, likely not going to play for a good chunk of the season. They're talking about it could be a 35-game suspension. Okay, he's got a lot of work to do. Now, I don't know the suggestion. I don't have it. All I'm saying is that this may go deeper than basketball. This man represents brands. This man represents a certain culture. And this man has responsibilities that he has not been able to figure out how important they are and how important he is. So I wonder, and I ask you all, if you're a parent of a teenager or a young person, are you going to allow them to wear Ja Morant sneakers? Do you think that Michael Wilbon makes a good point when he says he doesn't want his son to wear Ja Morant sneakers? Or are we overreacting? Are we tripping? Is this just a thing? It don't got nothing to do with the sneakers. The sneakers are totally separate from the athlete. Listen, Allen Iverson, he wasn't waving guns or nothing like that, but Allen Iverson had that bad boy, persona. Allen Iverson got in, trouble, things like that. People still rocked Allen Iverson sneakers. Dennis Rodman was crazy, did all sorts of wild stuff. Never was waving guns, but was a wild dude, had terrible, PR all around him all the time. People still rock with Dennis Rodman as a brand. Okay, so again, I ask you, is it a big deal? Do you agree with Michael Wilbon? Or should we just leave the sneakers out of it and just hope that the young man can begin to redeem himself and smarten up? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it, all right? All right, man. So this was a quick one today. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of What Are Those, man. Again, man, the Ja Morant thing does disappoint me. I am hoping that he can get himself together just as a person. The dude has so much potential and so much talent, man. That Memphis Grizzlies team was goofy this season, and I like to see those young boys grow up, man. And Ja Morant has to understand that he's a leader on that team, and he has the potential to be a leader in the NBA. I don't want to see this young man's career disappear at all, but stupidity is stupidity, man, and we all have to answer. And there's always consequences to our actions, man. So I don't wish it on him. He was definitely one of my favorite young players to watch, man. But I'm a grown man, and I have to say, man, I'm super disappointed in the level of stupidity, frankly, that he shows, man. So we'll see what happens with the sneakers. We'll see what goes on with his career, man. But we positive on this show, so we're going to hope it works out. All right. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. Remember to follow the team, the Up On Game Network shows every single day of the week. Get with us. All right. Remember to follow the squad, the On My Feet Network. Doing big things over there, man. Remember to follow me, MSR_Adam. I got content coming out all the time, man. Follow me, hit that link tree. You know what to do, okay? Man, been talking about Ja Morant, what's going on with that, man. This reminds me, you got to mind your mental health, man. You got to take it serious, man. It's a really, really big deal. You can't get swept up in the hype. You can't get swept up in the stupidity, man. Always stay grounded. Always stay balanced. Mind your mental health, okay? Mind your physical health, man. Some of y'all my age, listen to the show. You're a little bit older, man. Take care of your bodies. Take care of yourself, man. Remind yourself to mind your physical health. It's super duper important, man. And always remember, never forget, you must always, always, always be great. I'm up out of here. Peace.